In this lesson, we are going to be creating a new project. This will be forms, and we'll be working on a login in page. So if we go into our projects folder, we could see what we've done before. So we've worked on project A, B, and C. In this lesson, we'll create a project D. So to get started, this is what I've created earlier, which we are going to recreate. So it's a sign-in page or a login page, which has two fields, username and a password, and it has a remember me, and it has a sign-in button that allows you to sign in, and it has a HTML5 validation. So if we go into our Sublime and go into projects and open up project, I've saved in documents Sublime, the workspace. So I'm going to open it up. And on the left side, you should have the three projects that we've done so far. Okay, so in projects, I'm going to create a new folder and call this folder project D. And within project D, we're going to create another folder and call this CSS. Within our CSS folder, we'll create a new file and save this file as login.css. Okay, and in project D, create a new file, and we could call this login.html. Okay, so this is our structure. For now, we don't need the login in CSS, so I'm close this so we could focus on just the index, so the login HTML page. As usual, type in your HTML and hit the tab key. Select everything within the HTML, indent it so it's neat, and within our title element, we're going to put in login as our title. Right, so save this work, come back up here so we can see what we're working with. So we have our login in, sign in header, and everything should be wrapped in as one article. So I'm just going to add an article element here, and within that we have our header, and then within that we have our H1. Okay, so call this login, I think. Just quickly have a look and see. Sign in. Okay, so just come back in here and call this sign in. Okay, once you've done that, we can go back and have a look and see what next we have to do. So if we go into project D, double click our login so we can see what we've done so far. That's what we've done, just a header. So this is what we have to work with. So now we have this section here, the username and the password section. Before we do that, let's have a look and see within our w3.org link, see what we have. Okay, so we have our form elements. Okay, so if you click on that, you can see some things that you could read up on, and it's a bit difficult to track down exactly what we need. So what you could do is you could find Control F or Command F, and you could search for the form tag like this. Okay, so you can see examples of it being used. So this is how we create and use forms. So any forms starts with a form element, okay, and inside that you have all your controls. Okay, so this is our form element here, and we can basically replicate that. So under the header, we can simply type in form. Okay, so we have our opening and closing tags. So if we come back to our sign-in page, so we need two input fields, a username and a password, but they're grouped together. So we can have a look at the documentation again. Okay, so we need something to group these two, and in our documentation, do Command F or Control F and search for field set. And we can see down here, so we have field sets. So field sets basically allow us to group our form elements together. In this case, we have two input fields that we want to group together. In our HTML, type in field set, and then within that, I'm going to use my P, and within P, I'll enter input element like this. So input doesn't have a closing tag. You just simply type input. Okay, so let's save this and let's go into our work. Reset the screen. We can see our default field set has a border around it, and this is our input field. So we have two input fields. So if we go back into Sublime, we can simply just copy this line 14 and duplicate it, so we have two input fields. Right, so let's reset and see we have two input fields there. So this lesson we've learned how to create input fields, how to use field sets and forms. We've created username and password fields. It's not quite complete yet. So there's a few more things we need to learn in the next lesson. Input fields are of different types. This is a radio type, and the one we've done is a text type. So we'll be looking at that in the next lesson. And we have to complete the rest of this login in forms as well, and get rid of the predefined styling that's come with the field set. This concludes this lesson. We've learned the form elements and input elements and how to use them. In the next lesson, we'll carry on and complete our login in page. I'll see you in the next lesson.